What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Trev. Let me pull this mic a little closer because I do not want to wake people up. It's actually pretty late right now. I don't know how to make this video. I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna do my best, and I've been sitting here thinking about how to get across what I'm actually feeling without coming off sounding like an ass. And there might not be any way to actually do that. And you might think, well, if you don't really have anything good to say, why say anything at all? And I thought about that. But I also thought, I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is about me giving my honest opinion about things. So if every time I had an opinion about something that might not be 100% popular, I didn't say anything, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. It would be nothing on it, really, right? But a bunch of like bullshit. So I'm gonna give you my opinion on something, and I'm gonna tell you right now. So what? It's just my opinion, and honestly, I'm not so full of myself that I think my opinion really makes a difference in this instance. This is what I do, right? I make videos and I tell you how I feel about things. My opinion means absolutely nothing. And I'm pretty sure my opinion is actually going to change over time. What I'm talking about is Protocol X, which is now Juris Protocol. Juris is a word that was thrown out when I did the first time I heard it. I might have heard it before that, but we all heard it when I did an interview with Frag and LL. We heard the name Juris. Frag threw it out there, and when we were talking about names, because I asked, "What are we going to name this thing? We can't call it Protocol X forever." And Frag threw the name out there, Juris, and he kind of laughed about it and said, "Nah, it's a joke. It's whatever." So I didn't really go any more into it. If I had known that it was actually a serious thing for him, maybe I would have asked some more questions about where it came from, what that word, what that name actually means to him, and how it relates to the protocol. I would still love to know those things, but Frag isn't really easy to get a hold of, and I didn't want to really ask too many questions because I had come up with my own idea, but whatever, right? But I didn't want to ask all kind of questions and make it seem like I was just trying to shit on his idea, because actually when he said the name, I loved it. I really did. It made me think of jurisprudence. And I don't really know what jurisprudence is. I just know, or at the time I didn't. I do now. I didn't know what jurisprudence was. It was just a legal term to me. It sounded professional. It sounded official. It sounded righteous, right? And I think that this project, the protocol, everything, is a very righteous thing. The way it's gone about is very righteous. Where there's transparency and everything is being done in an official and legal way, so that everybody is safe and nobody ever gets screwed with anything, and everything about it, and the intentions behind it, right? Obviously, I've said this before. It's a business. Got to make money, right? Intention number one. But the greater intention, or the sub-intention, whatever you want to say, is to really, really help Terra Classic in whatever way it can. Hopefully by bringing attention and bringing volume to the chain by people outside of the chain that wouldn't normally come to Terra Classic and trade or do business or build, because they would have no reason to. So there's a great intention there. That's a noble intention. And juris or jurisprudence just sounded like a noble thing to me because it was a legal term. Okay, so I liked it. I really, really liked it. And earlier today, we finally got the word from Frag that this is going to be the official name. This is the name he thought of. This is the name that he likes. And that's it. Period. He said. That's going to be the name. And okay, happy about that. Very happy about that, because I liked it from the beginning. And I think a lot of people that hear the name like the name. But because I didn't have access to Frag to ask him those questions, or I really wasn't even sure how to ask them without coming off wrong, I started to do a little research of my own just to find out what juris actually means, how it might be relating to this protocol that is about lending and borrowing and, you know, a few other things. How does it actually tie in? I want to understand that because, again, I am making videos, I'm putting out content, I'm getting information out for you about this protocol, and from now on we will call it Juris Protocol. So I just want to be entrenched in the whole thing and really feel it and get it, right? So I'm going to take you over here. Which way should I go? Let's go this way. I'm going to take you here, and I had a really hard time finding a definition of juris, just juris, because it's usually tied in with something else. It's almost like a prefix or even sometimes a suffix or whatever, but it's always tied to something else, like jurisprudence or jurisdiction, right? You might not even have thought of that, but jurisdiction, jurist, right? Somebody who's on a jury is a jurist. It's always tied to something else, so it was tough to find just a definition, but I searched and searched, and I finally found this law.com dictionary, and I found kind of a definition of the root word juris, and it is a Latin word. Let me see does this work? Yeah. So basically it is a Latin word that means of right or of law. That's the definition of juris, of right or of law. And it goes on to, you know, say how it's used in a few different ways. This juris tantum is one which holds good in the absence of evidence to the contrary. There are just a bunch of different ways that you would use the word juris pertaining to law or right, being in the right. Okay. Some of the other definitions I pulled up and some of the other meanings. So sui juris is where is so there it is right there, of age or independent. I think that I found another definition that said sui juris was basically being able to maintain your own stuff, right? Being maybe I'll find that somewhere as we kind of scroll through here. Or maybe it was down here. Here we go. Yeah, capable of managing one's own affairs. So it's used in that way. Juris legal definition of right, of law. An action in Roman law that the judge was to decide according to the strict legal rules without reference to equitable considerations. Jurisprudence we talked about, and jurisprudence commonly means the philosophy of law, right? So just the idea of law would be jurisprudence. Jurisdiction, let me get the exact definition for you. I know it's not up on the screen, but I've got it on another device here. Jurisdiction is the official power to make a legal decision. In other words, this court has jurisdiction over whatever, right? So these are some of the ways that you use the word juris. And this is where I started to have a little bit of a dilemma. Because I'm trying to understand how that actually relates, or in Frag's mind, how it was that he's relating that word in any of these definitions that I've found to this lending protocol. I did come across, and as I was reading through Twitter, this is basically LL's announcement that, this is what we were going to be going with. And what he said was, Frag has helped me a shitload with Rakoff Token and has put a lot of trust in me blindly. He never asked for anything. I know he is crazy in love with Juris Protocol. So this is what we settled for. This project and protocol are supposed to bring justice back for Lunk. So there's a couple of things there, right, that mean something to me if I'm reading into that. So if the idea is that juris means bringing justice back, Juris doesn't mean that. That's not what juris means. Juris and justice might sound alike, but that's not what that means, right? Juris is what we already talked about. I've already shown you the definition. It has nothing to do with bringing justice for anything. But that's initially what I thought when I first heard the word. Without actually looking up the definition, that's what I thought. I'm like, this is, it sounds like justice. That's what it sounds like. So that's what I thought it was. And that might be what these guys think it is too. I don't know if that's what Frag thinks it is. I don't know. But the most important part here is where he says, I know he's crazy in love with Juris Protocol, so this is what we settle for. And that's really the end of it, right? Frag's our dude. Frag is our boy. Frag has done so much for all of us with this protocol, with Rackoff, among all the other things that he does for Terra Classic. So if Frag likes Juris Protocol, that's good enough. Juris Protocol it is, right? I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I'm very happy with the name Juris Protocol if Frag's happy with it, right? I wanted to understand it. I can't say that I understand it. I loved it at first. At this point, after doing a little digging, it's going to have to grow on me a little bit more because I like things to actually connect and make sense, but that's just me. As I said at the beginning, who am I? So what? That's just my opinion. I'm one guy. This ain't my project. I'm not on the team. Nothing. It's just my opinion. It's going to have to grow on me, but I think it will grow on me because there are still things that I like about it, right? I like the word, just the word. Never mind the definition. I like the word juris. It sounds professional. It sounds elegant. It sounds important. And this protocol and this project are that. It's a professional thing. It's this. I know it started off as a meme, but this thing is just no joke anymore. Okay. It is absolutely 100% serious. There are a lot of legal things that are going on behind the scenes, right? Legal contracts that are being reviewed by lawyers, right? Waiting to be signed. There's a corporation being set up that will probably have ready to go in maybe a week and a half or something like that. Everything is very, very professional with this. And juris just sounds like a very professional word, right? I like it. And it does sound like justice a little bit. So that's cool too. It's also not a word that I have seen related to any other product whatsoever. And so it has a uniqueness about it. When anybody says anything about Juris Protocol, you're not going to mistake it for anything else. You're going to know exactly what it is because nothing else uses that word. I like that about it. It's clean. It's simple. A lot of things that I really, really like about it. And this was the tough thing for me is because even though I was going to say there are some things that I don't really understand and maybe don't fit for me, I didn't want it to come off like I don't like it. I do like it. I think it's a great name. I've got those other issues, but I'll get over them because if you put it on a scale of justice, I actually like it a lot more than I don't like it. And so that's all well and good. So Juris Protocol is what we're moving forward with. That is the name of our protocol. That's what it's going to be. A lot of people really, really love it. I really, really like it. And I think I'm going to actually grow to love it because of the uniqueness for it. And that's it. I mean, that's if you hadn't already heard, that's kind of the announcement. So no more hashtag Protocol X. We now have a brand. We have a brand name. All of the legal documents are going to reflect that. It will be called Juris Protocol henceforth. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.